Good morning, traders. I'm Emily Bonney, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Monday, September 23rd. We begin this Monday after markets closed out Friday mixed but nearly flat. Even with that, the Dow notched a record close and was the day's only winner by 38 points or 0.09%, ending at 42,063 points. The S&P 500 closed off by 11 points or 0.19%. The Nasdaq gave up 65 points or 0.36%. Bill, let's get into a new week with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes, good morning, Emily. I'm watching S&Ps. We're up 0.14%. That's positive. I like to see that. Today there's a host of Fed speakers hitting the docket today. That could be interesting. But that flash PMI data out of Europe that came out this morning, was mainly negative. This may push the ECB to ease monetary policy is kind of the feeling. But overnight, China's PBOC, they lowered a borrowing rate. But the key is that they scheduled an announcement for tomorrow, so there could be some stimulus action coming out of the PBOC tomorrow morning. What else do I have? DELL, PLTR, and ERIE, they're all being added to the SPX as of today. That's good for those stocks. I'm seeing some gains in PLTR today. What else do we see? Intel. Intel is higher, due to market chatter about Apollo preparing a multi-billion-dollar investment. That's big. You talk about the Qualcomm, Intel, I just don't see that happening. That's probably more talk than anything else, but it's good for volatility. What else we got? House Speaker Mike Johnson indicated that the House will vote this week at a 3-month stopgap funding bill. That's positive for the markets. But, listen, we're taking a look at what's happening overseas. We're taking a look at Germany right now. Germany is up 101 points at 0.54%. Hey, those weakening PMIs can be viewed as evidence that the Fed needs to cut rates again in its next meeting. The FTSE is kind of lower. It's down 16 points or 0.2%. The flash PMI data out of the UK remained positive at 52.7, although this was lower than the previous reading, while France, which is down 0.21% this morning. They're seeing weakness in banking and luxury sectors. Their manufacturing PMI came in at plus 44, slightly lower than the expectations of plus 4.3. Not horrible, okay. We're taking a look at what happened last night in Asia. Tokyo was closed. They had a market holiday. Hong Kong fell 11 points or 0.06%, essentially flat. Biotech stocks were a little weak over there. But Shanghai and China, they did see an increase, jumped 12 points or 0.44%. The key news item is People's Bank of China unexpectedly lowered its 14-day repo rate. And they scheduled an announcement for tomorrow, so there could be something coming out of China. We're keeping an eye on oil. There's a lot going on in oil. Oil is trading higher this morning. We got oil up about 0.5%. WTI is at $71.42 a barrel, whereas Brent's at $74.80 a barrel. The rate cut from China, along with the elevated tensions in the Middle East, are positive factors for oil. The disappointing, PMI data is weak, though. That's a cautious signal on demand. But at the end of the day, I think that the Middle East tensions are really causing a positive effect on oil. That's why I think we're seeing oil trade a little higher, up about 0.5% this morning. That's what I have for you in terms of a morning market update report today, Emily.
Bill, I hear in your opening there, economic events remain in full focus as we really get a snapshot of the health of the economy here in the U.S. and abroad. And in just a moment, we're going to get to the day's economic events. But before we get there, we will do earnings action. So, Bill, what is going on in terms of earnings?
Oh, it's that time of year where we're very light. Nothing. I came out this morning, nothing Friday afternoon. Today, after the bell, AAR Corp, ticker AIR, Apple India Richard, they're going to be releasing their EPS is 82 cents. Expected move is 8.88%. And then tomorrow morning, we have Thor Industries, ticker THOR. Their EPS is $1.35. Expected move is 10.53%. AutoZone, ticker AZO, their EPS is $53.51. Expected move is 6.11%. It's a very high price stock. Don't like to put volumes in either one of those. But that's what I have for you in terms of earnings report, Emily.
Bill, in your opening, you did also mention a bunch of Fed speak today. Again, something important to keep watching to get clues on what their next decision may be, as we're still coming off that latest decision in rate cuts. So give us a rundown of everything we should be watching when it comes to economic events.
Well, at 9:45 a.m. this morning, we get the PMI composite flash reports coming out, so that'll be watched closely. But the Fed speakers, there's a lot of Fed speakers going out today. Raphael Bostic of the Atlanta Fed, he's supposed to be speaking at 8 a.m. this morning. Then at 10:15 a.m., we're going to hear from Chicago Fed Bank President Austin Goolsbee. He's a big dove. And then at 1 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to hear from Minneapolis Fed Bank President Neil Kashkari. So yeah, we got a lot to pay attention to. There's a lot of Fed speak going on this week, Emily.
You'll be following all of that, Bill, using your NewsWare with those alerts that you have for Fed speakers. And this way you can gather those comments as they come in. As you do every morning, you're also looking at other types of information and data from different sectors and segments. You're looking at things like shareholders meetings this morning. You're also grouping your stocks together, like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks. So, Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
Doing a quick data check on my Dow. I got 14 higher, got 8 lower, the rest unchanged. I'm looking at my FANG stocks. A little weakness in Apple, a little weakness in Amazon, but the rest are kind of showing gains. So, that's positive walking into today. You're looking at some of the news behind the headlines, and we're talking Apple, the lead times for Apple's iPhone 16. They're suggesting strong demand. Okay, I don't know if that's really the case, but the lead times are widely watched, for indications as far as how well that iPhone 16 is selling. Meta platforms, they got a price target increase from a major broker, which is helping the stock this morning. It's up over 1%. And plus, don't forget, they have that Meta Connect event that's going on this week. That's always a positive as well. In terms of Netflix, India is investigating the business practices of Netflix local operation, including allegations of visa violations and racial discrimination. Not positive, but we're showing Netflix still trading over 700, so that's positive. We're talking Dow stocks, we're talking Microsoft, we're talking MSFT, Michael Sam, Frank Tom, GE Aerospace partners with Microsoft to bring new AI tools to its workforce. We're talking Intel. That's really the story this morning. Ticker INTC. Shares are trading higher this morning. We're showing shares of Intel up over 5% this morning due to chatter about an investment by Apollo. So supposedly it's like a $5 billion investment. That could be very positive, keeping those shares in the green today. We're talking Caterpillar, ticker CAT, Charlie Apple Tom. They're going to be holding talks with JP Morgan's analysts tomorrow at the Mine Expo event. That could be pretty big. In terms of shareholders meeting going on today, Network Appliances, ticker NTAP, Nancy Tom Apple Paul, they're holding a financial analyst meeting today. Kodiak Sciences, ticker KOD, Kilo Oscar David, they're holding an investors R&D event going on today. But that's what I have for you in terms of news hitting the tape this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. We've now made it to that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, what do you have for us to start this week?
Going with Teva, ticker TEVA, Tom Edward, Victor Apple. It's Teva Pharmaceuticals. Listen, they reported positive phase 3 results from a schizophrenia treatment drug that they have out there. That's all positive. I mean, you look at Friday's call volume, 12,750 calls versus 2,559 puts. Very positive. You look at it, the open interest, 354, 952 versus 125, 554. Again, very positive. Listen, major brokers they're not widely following Teva, but the one that is, I believe it's Bank of America, they're positive on it. They recently raised their price target on the stock by $3, so that's positive. Hey, you know what? I want to get in the 1660. I want to get in Teva at 1760 area. If I can get in 1760 area, I think it'll be positive. I think the stock has room to run. It shouldn't be hard for it to hit 18 today. So that's my pick of the day. Teva, ticker TEVA. Tom, Edward, Victor, Alpha, Emily.
Teva Pharmaceuticals it is today, and coming up, we will do a recap on Friday's pick of the day, so stick with us. But ahead of that, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, sending it back to you.
Honeywell, ticker HON, to develop AI-enabled agent powered by Qualcomm. Holly's Bargain Basement, ticker OLLI, they announced 10 new openings in Texas. AirCorp, ticker AIR, they were awarded a 5-year contract, which is worth about $1.2 billion recently. Take-Two, ticker TTWO, they announced the launch of Tales of Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. It's coming out March 25th. LTRY, that's lottery.com, sports.com. They launched the platform in new markets across Asia. That could be positive. Ticker OLO, Oscar Larry Oscar, they're cutting 9% of their workforce. Citigroup, China's expansions held up by U.S. regulators. SpaceX plans to send 5 uncrewed starships to Mars in the next 2 years. Alaska Air, ticker ALK, the airline said it experienced IT outages that caused a disruption to its operations recently. This was not a cyber attack, they said. AAL, Etsy, Bio, they were all removed from the SPX and replaced by DELL, Palantir, and ERIE. CVS Health, the FTC sued CVS Health, Cigna, and United Healthcare for inflating insulin prices. Microsoft got a rare downgrade today from a tier 2 broker. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we dive into trading in this new week, let's do that check-in on Friday's pick of the day, which was Sanofi. I did see a price target raised on the stock this morning by Barclays. Now, on Friday, you were sticking with the healthcare sector. Things were still a little uncertain. We were coming off of, the Fed's rate decision. We're seeing where we could find some security here. They did have that new drug candidate, and you were looking for under 58. The markets were sort of flat on Friday, as we mentioned before, but how did your call work out?
It was flat. I mean, listen, the stock opened up at 57.95, and at that opening, I actually said 57.50 to 50, 57.50 to 58, and it was falling, so I was held on. I waited till after it broke 57.50, and it did rally after that to up to the 57.80 level, but that's not 1%. So I mean, it was flat on the day. It wasn't a great gainer. So it wasn't a winner. That's my point. It was flat. It wasn't a winner. But with the market moving at these all-time highs, I gotta get a little nervous, and I didn't have any earnings to play, and that's kind of where I'm sitting these days. The earnings are light, and the ones that are coming out, I don't like. But Santa Fe flat on the day, Emily.
Flat on the day on Friday. As I mentioned, markets are sort of flat too. So, sort of flat all around, but we will check in with you tomorrow about today's Teva pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow and each weekday morning this week at NewsWare's Trade Talk, when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Advani, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.